felt like John Lennon wearing those. Everybody, this is the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle. It's a very sought after set, the Star Wars Millennium Falcon equivalent for Harry Potter fans. Now you might be wondering, Jacob, you build modulars, not castles. What are you doing? You are absolutely right. Let me explain. I've got a lot of different buildings on my LEGO City shelf. From bookshops, hotels, botanical gardens, a restaurant, and the shelf is populated by a lot of minifigures. So it got me wondering, do any of these minifigures have an education? It's a valid question, right? So that sparked in my mind that this LEGO City shelf needs a school, a university of sorts. And that's where LEGO Hogwarts comes into play. Thanks to the powers of this magical website called ReBrickable, we'll be transforming this Harry Potter Hogwarts castle into a fully fledged LEGO Modular Building Hogwarts University. Woo! I am so excited to do this. But first things first. Oh boy. Yep, okay. So this set has over 6,000 pieces that I need to sort by part and by color. But thanks to the powers of video editing and my magic wand, whatever's left of it anyway, you guys don't need to worry about that. Oh, the power of editing, eh? We'll pretend like this hasn't taken like 3 weeks for me to do. We've finally sorted all 6,000 plus pieces of the Hogwarts castle into these organizers. Just before recording this, I went on to ReBrickable and bought the instructions from Bolt Builds. Shout out to him for making such an incredible alt build. It looks so impressive and I can't wait to see it for real in front of me very soon. These minifigures, they're starting to get a little impatient. They really want their education. So let's get building. Cue the time lapse. The part usage for this base is freaking insane. Bolt Builds has definitely taken advantage of all of these pieces and used them here on the ground to create the base very nicely. I am impressed. It's crazy to me that 3 pieces can all of a sudden turn into this. What the heck? After 1 month and a trip to Legoland later, we did it. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Hogwarts University. A school for any level of intelligence. Whether you're just an average minifigure, a space baby, or a Thanos, we welcome you with open arms. So before we place Hogwarts University on the LEGO City shelf, let's take a walk through the building and see what we're working with. Floor by floor. Before we go indoors, you can see that the sidewalk is completely tiled off so that it blends in with the rest of my LEGO City. These tiles don't come with the build and they were purchased off everyone's favourite website, Bricklink. But in saying that, Bolt Builds has provided instructions at the end of book 2 to help you swap out the studs for the tiles. Cheers, mate. Okay, let's get inside, starting with the bottom floor. As you walk through the large double doors, you'll find yourself in the main hallway or reception. And right off the bat, there's a hole in the wall. Huh? I did check to make sure this wasn't a mistake I made while I was building, but this is obviously a hidden Easter egg or a hidden trapdoor hole thingy. Maybe the students can smuggle in like chocolate frogs or butterbeer. Oh, I got to try that when I was in London. Would recommend it. Anyway, back on track. To the right of the hallway is the common room. There's a couch under some curtains with a big window that looks out into the front garden. Under the stairs is a fireplace which you can actually pull out to reveal a gold microfigure. Ooh. Do you have any idea what this might be referencing? Let me know in the comments. We have a second door which leads us right outside onto the sidewalk before sweeping around the corner to the library. The large bookshelf has a little trick up its sleeve where if you open it up, it will reveal outside. Literally one jump, bam, you're in the real world. There's literally nothing here yet. We'll get back to that one. The library has an archway which takes us outside into the garden with this water fountain and these tall growing plants. It's so tranquil. It's so calm. I can literally taste the fresh air. Anyway, that's enough outdoors time. Let's go upstairs to the second floor. Oh, it's getting some height now. The second floor's exterior is probably my favorite out of this entire build, purely for this big ass stained glass window in the front. It's a simple design of red and yellow transparent pieces, but it pops off so nicely against the tan coloured bricks. And below that is the school crest. Because this is all in the Harry Potter world, naturally you get to pick which house banner goes in the front of the school. I did that sorting hat quiz a number of years ago, but I redid it just to triple check, and I can confirm I'm a loud and proud Ravenclaw! Caca! Is that what they do? Let me know your Hogwarts house down in the comments, and why not drop a like while you're down there? Cheers. The bright red carpeted stairs heading up to the second floor have a pretty clever building technique on the handrail. Bolt Builds took these minifigure neck brackets and these bars to create it, which is hella cool. A+ from me for that. Anyway, up the stairs we land in a study. It's complete with a table and chairs. We also get a magnifying glass and some stacked papers. Off of the study is a smaller room which Bolt Builds is describing as the Dean's office. Hence the big fancy chair, I suppose. Must be nice. The Dean has a small table for working, but is also able to peep out the window and monitor students in the garden. Just to make sure they're not having too much fun or getting too rowdy by the water fountain, you know? And then on the other side of the study is the biggest room, the laboratory. In the corner is a large shelf with a whole lot of apparatus for experimenting or making potions. You'll also notice on top of the shelf is another micro figure, but this time it's Voldemort. From the lab we go up another set of stairs to the students' dorm on the 3rd floor. It's a pretty simple dorm room. We have 2 beds, a kitchen, a small table, and a school crest. Whoa! Sorry, that's not Ravenclaw. Let me just censor that real quick. Much better. The bathroom floor is tiled, which provides some nice separation between the rooms. And there's no cubicles for any trolls to bash down. So that's another A+ from me. All that's left to do now is put a roof over this build. Or 3 roofs, I guess, because, you know, modular things. This MOC is very modular, and I think the roofs really show that off. Everything just slots into place so nicely. You can really tell how much work was put into this. There's no gaps, everything just fits. It's just so satisfying. Oh. There isn't too much to see on the 2 lower roofs, but around the side is where the main attraction is, the tower. Of course, we have our flag flying at full mast. We have a door that isn't a door, it's just for show. And there's also this telescope for looking at the constellation, or whatever astronomers do. Very fancy. And that, guys, is the start of Hogwarts University. Woohoo! The minifigures of my LEGO city are gonna be so stoked with this. But this is only half of it. This is the Grand Chapel. It's one ginormous hall, and it's absolutely stunning. As Bolt Builds worded it, this Grand Chapel can be used for lectures, choir practice, or dining. We have rows of chairs, a large bookshelf, and up the front is an easel. Further up the wall is a little balcony, and this is where the dean or the headmaster can stand and look over all the students to make sure they're all behaving. Behind the easel is my second favorite part of this building, the wall of portraits. Bolt Builds made sure to use almost all the stickers from the original build appropriately, and I think this is a great example of that. Floor to ceiling are all these brickified versions of Harry Potter characters who have been and gone through Hogwarts. There's so many fun nods and references. I love it. Now my favorite part of the build, hands down, has to be the chandelier. This was such a clever design from Bolt Builds because it's literally just hanging there. Literally the only thing that's stopping this from squashing a few kids are the wings being held in by tiles. I was a bit scared at first, thinking this might be quite delicate and hard to keep in place, but I've had no issues so far. Oh sh**. But seriously, this is absolutely the icing on the cake for me and really solidifies that grand part of the Grand Chapel name that this building has. 10 out of 10. Oh my God. Excuse my language, I'm sorry, but damn, this is just f***ing magical. I don't know how else to explain it, I'm sorry. It's giving Hogwarts. It's giving old European church. It's giving university. These 2 buildings, of course, complement each other so nicely. The whole thing has a good range of different heights and building techniques to make it not look too flat and too boring from the street view. And because these are 2 separate builds, these can be orientated whichever way we want. Plus, remember the bookshelf I mentioned downstairs which led to nothing? Well, when the buildings are aligned like this, that hidden door behind the bookshelf opens straight up into the Grand Chapel. How freaking cool. Okay, enough yapping. Let's get this thing on the LEGO City shelf. I had to do quite a bit of rearranging to make this work, but I think I've found just the spot for it. Okay, she's in. Let me know what you guys think of this sideways placement. I think it looks great, and it allows for a bit more depth on the shelf with the road as well. In New Zealand, a lot of churches and universities tend to be pretty close to gardens or parks, so I feel like placing it near the botanical gardens was the right choice. I was a little unsure about what build to put on the end, but I feel like the Parisian restaurant was the best choice. That way the students can spend all their allowance there on butterbeer and croissants. Well, all that's left to do now is populate the university. Wowee! Hogwarts University is popping off! All ages, all backgrounds, we love to see it. Guys, this was such a fun build to do. Another long one in the making, so I appreciate your patience. The other build that took a long time on this LEGO City shelf was Dunder Mifflin from The Office. This was crazy. It was almost 12 months in the making. If you want to see that video, you can click it right here. Happy 2025, everyone. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you again very soon in the next video. Catch you later.